Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the HP Elitebook 8470p and seeing if it's viable to use and even game on in 2020. As said earlier, this is the HP Elitebook 8470p, the successor to the Elitebook 8460p. This was released in 2012, and this laptop was designed for business use and retail for about $899. Or about $1,023 in May of 2020. For a few years now, you have been able to get a lot of good deals on eBay for this kind of computer, some of them going for less than $100. So what are you getting for your money? And is it a good buy in 2020? Let's find out. Originally, this computer came with a i5 3320M, clocked at 2.6 GHz, a 4 GB of DDR3 RAM, a 320 GB 7200 RPM hard drive, upgraded HD 7570M with 1 GB of GDDR5 RAM, upgraded from the base Intel HD 4000, an upgraded 14-inch HD Plus screen with a resolution of 1600 by 900, upgraded from the base 14-inch screen with a resolution of 1366 by 768, and a 62 watt-hour battery. As for port selection, you have your power input on the left side, FireWire, 2 USB 3.0 ports. Under those, you have an SD card reader, a DVD drive, and an express card slot, which laptops of this age tend to have this port. Coming around the front here, you have your indication lights for wireless, power, charging, and disk activity. You have the release hatch for the screen. And on the right side here, you have your separate headphone and microphone jacks. Under there, you have a secure card slot, an eSATA port, which will also double as a USB port, another USB port, which will also supply charging power to your devices, and a full-size display port, and some beefy cooling, and a Kensington lock port, which has seen some use apparently. Coming around back here, we have a modem port, which would be a legacy port if I ever saw one, VGA, and Gigabit Ethernet, which was pretty cool even back in 2012. And your batteries right here. Opening the laptop up now, we have a trackpad with 4 buttons, which I think is a business thing. Otherwise, that's a really weird design choice by HP. You have your stickers, a fingerprint reader, which will not work on Windows 10 because it is not a verified Windows Hello fingerprint scanner, so it will not work with Windows 10. You have your almost full-size chiclet keyboard without number pad. I find it very easy to type on and comfortable. You have your hole in the middle of the keyboard where the trackpad nipple would be. This computer did not come with a trackpad nipple, and I was very disappointed and upset. So we have our power button up here with a little tiny LED indicator to let you know that it's on, and 3 buttons here, one to shut off wireless. This one will actually just open a web browser, which I guess if you need to have access to a web browser very quickly, that button would be good. And a dedicated mute button, which I do like. You got your 8470p logo right here, HP logo, and then right here in the middle, you can see Elitebook. I also forgot to mention here that there is a little tiny 720p webcam and this little button here, so when the laptop is on, there's actually a light. So if you see, there's a light, so if you ever really needed to sign any important documents on and didn't have any lights, so I guess your laptop has a light now. So just to show you guys how bright this light is, turn the light off, and if anything, the backlight on the screen is brighter. The webcam is also 720p. It's not great, but it's fine for most video calling and Zoom calls for nowadays. So I have had this computer for about a year now, and I believe it cost us around $200 when we originally bought it, which was good for the upgrades that I got, which was the screen and the upgraded graphics cards. So I think that's a really good price. Speaking of upgrades, since this is a business machine, this is very easy to upgrade. So all you gotta do is flip it over, and you will see two release switches here. This one will release the battery so you can swap it out with something bigger or replace it if you need to. And this one will release this bottom cover so you can get access to all the internals of the machine. I really like this screwless design, and it stinks that this has really gone away in newer laptops. So upgrades, you can pretty much upgrade everything in here, from the CPU, the RAM, the Wi-Fi card, the storage, even the disk drive is upgradable. So you can swap this out for a caddy to put in more storage. They're all over Amazon. Or you can actually swap this out with a Blu-ray drive, which is insane because this came out in 2012, and I think my family's still on DVDs. Like, we don't even have a Blu-ray player. The only thing that's not upgradable, unfortunately, is this GPU, which really holds it back from being an actually decent gaming PC. But you'll see in a little bit, you can play some lighter titles and get away with it. So as for upgrades that I've done to this machine, the DVD drive, battery, Wi-Fi card have all not been touched. This has been upgraded to a 240GB SanDisk SSD. I added some more RAM, so now I have 10 gigs, so one 8GB stick and one 2GB stick. And the CPU was upgraded from that i5 to a quad-core i7 3610QM. And with the SSD and the processor alone, this thing flies. Like, this thing is unbelievably fast. Opening programs, starting up. You know, when I upgraded from the dual core to the quad core, the battery life took a dump, but, you know, you could, replace this with a higher wattage battery. And, speaking of batteries, this is a secondary battery port. You don't see that on laptops now. You can have a second 100 watt-hour battery on this machine at the same time. And this is a docking station port, which I don't have, which, I don't know. I guess it just adds more ports. I don't know what it does. But, yeah. For a laptop in 2012, you can upgrade this to be a pretty decent school machine. You can do some stuff on this. So let me get it all back together, and I will show you some gaming performance. The first game I tested was Minecraft Java Edition. With the render distance set at 12 chunks and the graphics set to fancy, I averaged between 30 and 60 FPS, with the game running at the full 600 by 900 resolution. The second game I tested was Minecraft Windows 10 Edition, or also known as Minecraft Bedrock Edition. With the render distance set at 28 chunks and the graphics set to fancy, I got a very stable 60 FPS. This was also at the full 1600 by 900 resolution. The next game I tested was The Sims 4, and this game surprised me. The Sims 4 is by no means a demanding game, but because the machine is so old, I didn't expect it to run. But the game booted up just fine, and the game automatically set the graphics to medium at the full 1600 by 900 resolution. Originally there was some screen tearing, but turning on VSync fixed that. I averaged between 30 and 60 FPS with some dips into the mid-20s, so honestly it was quite playable. If you want a higher frame rate, you can always lower the settings. The next game I tested was Descenders, a mountain biking game on Xbox One, which is available through Game Pass on PC. The second this game started, it was literally a slideshow. I went to the graphics settings and found that they were all set to high automatically, and the FPS was 8. Yes, 8 frames per second. It was completely unplayable. I lowered all the settings to their lowest, but it still kept the full resolution, and I managed to average 15 FPS. It was more playable, but far from ideal. First, I lowered it to 720p and managed to get 22 FPS. Next, I decided to go all the way down to 800 by 460 and finally managed to get 30 FPS. So, if you want to play this game on this laptop, you better get used to it looking like crap. The final game I tested was, you guessed it, Resident Evil Revelations. It wouldn't be one of my videos without it. The game set the graphics to what I would call medium to high. The resolution was at 720p, and the texture quality was set to highest. I hopped into a level of raid mode, and the average FPS was sitting at around 35 FPS, with dips down to 30 or spikes up to 40. This laptop wouldn't be my ideal choice to play this game on anyway, but it does run, and runs well enough to play. Hello everyone. Just one last gaming kind of related thing. So here I have my Xbox One S hooked up to the HP Elitebook 8470p using a Elgato Game Capture HD60. So I got the wires going to an extension cord. So this is technically another way you could game on this system. It's basically just using your computer as a TV, but this is completely, I'm not at my house. I'm just using an extension cord to get the power. The laptop's running on battery, and the Xbox is getting power. So it's really not that bad of a experience here. Like, if I boot up a racing game here, Forza Horizon, it looks good on the screen. I mean, to my eye, it looks good, and I'm sure on the video it will look even better. It's absolutely zero latency. So it's another technical way that you could game on the Elitebook, and this opens up the horizons for games you can play massively. So it may not be natively on the machine, but you could make it work. This is kind of portable. So yeah. Here's the final verdict. Is the HP Elitebook 8470p a good laptop in 2020? Well, yes. But if you're using it to watch videos or movies, or do schoolwork or Zoom calls, since we're all in quarantine, yes. And light gaming, like Minecraft. Very light gaming. So if you have $150 to spend and that's your budget for a school laptop, this is a very good choice in 2020. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.